More gets paid. Holy shit, dude. Bags all around, Pat. If you're a wide receiver, man, you might as well just start asking for money because you're going to get a bag. What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Elite Fantasy Nation Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Dennis. You can follow me at Fantasy Matt, EFN. As always, with my brother, damn it, I do it every fucking time. You think I'd be smart enough to realize that I need to be right-handed and go that way? There you go. There he is. That's the man, Pat Wendelken. You can follow him at CityStars136. What's up, my boy, Pat? How are you today?
Chilling, bro. Good, man. You know, I had a shave for work, but it's okay.
I mean, you got a little bit of scrub growing back, man. You got like a little mustache / goatee. Like, what the hell's going on with you?
Yeah, I had to take it down. Yeah, long story. When you're in construction, these are the things you have to sacrifice. So it's all right.
All right. Real life work, man. See, we'll talk about what I do later on. Yeah, man. Today's a big day. What's today, Pat? What do we got today?
Football season kicks off. Like officially, unofficially.
Officially.
Like this is all the way to February, where we go football every week now till February.
This is like junior football, though. You can't really call this real football. So today is Thursday, August. I'll take it, dude. Fuck, man. Don't. Oh, we all need it. We all need it. The heartbeat goes on. The chest is starting to get a little bit bigger, dude. It's starting to pump a little bit harder.
Let's go.
Today is Thursday, August 1st. And today is a Hall of Fame game, actually, in about an hour. Pat and I are recording about an hour before the game kicks off. Pat wants to watch vigorously as Team B, which is basically the second squad, plays on either side because, the starters are not going to play. But, hey, it's football. And might as well grab a beer, grab a drink, keeping it weird. Whatever you got to do, let's go. Football's back, boy. Let's get it. Bears are playing the Texans. So I was hoping Caleb would play. Not going to happen. None of the starters are going to happen, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Pat, what do you got to say, man? Besides, the usual.
The usual.
You started to feel normal with a little bit of hair? Bro. You starting to get some hair back? We talked about a second ago, but,
Yeah, I buzzed it down a little bit again. I have to go into a mask. I construction's got some bad stuff and good stuff in it, but
yeah, you kick a lot of shit that's good, a lot of shit that's bad. So just don't hit any gas pipes and you'll be good, right?
Nah, we're good, bro. But minus the hazmat, they'll kill you in the, but hey, whatever. Yeah. But I'm here, and I'm going to give you your news. I'm alive today, so let's enjoy it.
You are. Hey, man, as long as you're alive, every day's a good day. So hit the news, man. Bro. We got to have a news button that I push. I'll find something.
I love it, bro.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
DJ Moore, your buddy, 110 extension, baby. How you like that?
Hell
110 million, bro. 82.6 guaranteed, Matt. That's your people, bro.
Bro, like, honestly, dude, Ryan Poles, I don't know, this is going to sound like homerism, but Ryan Poles has done an amazing job. So Moore, for people that don't know, if you haven't read it, Moore had 2 years left on his contract. The Bears did not need to do this. I think it's actually pretty amazing to do it now. They've locked him in for another 4 years, which is now 6 years total. So he's with the Bears for the next 6 years, locked in. And I think it comes out to like $27.5 million if you figure out what he's getting paid for the next 2 years. Because again, it's a 4-year extension. So 4 years plus a 2 at 15. I think he's getting 15 before that. It comes out to like $27.5 million over the course of 6 years, which in 4 years, like that's going to be a steal for a player that good, man. I think he's a top 10 wide receiver. I think the Bears, he wants to be here. The Bears need him to be here. So they're building for the future. So it's going to be awesome. Yeah. So props to Ryan Poles, man.
As we proceed to the next topic. But not a good topic. This is big for all managers, all redraft, all the above. Justin Herbert diagnosed with plantar fasciitis of the right foot. Now that is major. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. I'm not going through it. My father's a podiatrist. I don't have time to go through the logistics of it. But just let me tell you something. That shit is painful. Anyone that knows
his dad's a doctor. His dad's a doctor, so he kind of knows. Legitimately, that's 100%. Not even a joke. His dad is a doctor, so he knows.
They make it seem like it's so easy. He'll be ready for the regular season, but that could be nagging continuously all season. Just so you know, Matt.
Also,
a huge implication.
No, it is, but I want to pause on that for 1 second. I know that there's been a lot of talks about the Chargers, with the whole you've obviously got fucking blanking. What's his name? So you've got Harbaugh. Thank you. I kept wanting to say Jim McMahon. None of the Bears quarterback. You have Harbaugh that's there, talks that it's going to be a running first offense. But when they do throw, you said it's on his right foot, right?
Correct.
He's a right-handed quarterback, so that is your plant foot. As you drop back, that is your foot that you use all your torque. Is your back foot for a right-handed quarterback? Your back foot is your back foot when you're right-handed quarterback is your right foot. So if he's got planaritis, that's going to have a major effect, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor, and I know Pat said is not on here, but if you just think about like the act of like stepping back, putting all your weight on that foot, and then using that force and that torque to get the ball out. So it could be a major thing for him to go throughout the whole entire season. Like you said, he's not out.
You're walking back, dude. It's a step back throw. I mean, you're stepping back and you plant.
Well, and you got to plant. Like it's a quick, all that force, and you got to immediately put your foot down and torque and rip the ball. So it's like it's a pretty major thing. You think about, oh, it's his foot, like he should be fine. But if it was his left foot, I think it'd be in much better shape. So it's something to keep interest of and keep a watch over. So to your point, he could linger the whole entire season. So it could be something pretty not devastating, but it could alter his performance. So just something to think about.
Yeah. On another negative note, the Titans, DeAndre Hopkins, 6 weeks.
Old man Hop.
Yeah, man. Knee injury, 6 weeks he's out. So
that sucks, dude.
That's he's an aging wide receiver. Still has use and all the other stuff, but yeah, man, not looking too good over there, bro. So hopefully, he gets back better and all that good stuff. But he's in a lot of dynasty and he's in other leagues, keeper leagues. You never know. I mean, all different formats. So his value has dropped. I'm sure of it already.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. So something to keep kind of updated on as well, and make sure like you're kind of aware. Also, too, wasn't there an injury on the Pittsburgh wide receiver too, the rookie coming in? So I think he had a knee injury as well, ankle.
Yeah,
sorry,
a couple days ago. Yes.
Yes, he had an ankle injury that there's reported that it's not Wilson. So apparently it's not going to Roman Wilson. So apparently it's not going to be a serious injury. I think they carted him off on today's Thursday. Like I said, I think it was Monday or Tuesday they carted him off the field.
I want to say it was Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah, so I just want to talk about that too, because he's a rookie coming in and he's obviously the number 2 wide receiver currently in that offense. I know quarterback situation is not looking the best between either Wilson, Russell Wilson, or Justin Fields. But that's something to monitor. They said that he did avoid a serious injury, so hopefully, even if it's a couple of weeks, hopefully he can come back, Roman Wilson, and have some type of a good season, because he looked like a really good prospect coming out of college, so out of Michigan actually. So keep an eye on that, Roman Wilson. So yeah. Anything else?
That's it, man. That's pretty light. I mean, I'm not going to Aaron Rodgers drama because he's his own soap opera. Just him and Garrett Wilson just been chirping back and forth, and then they're hugging 2 plays later. So it's kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Anything to
Aaron
make
Rodgers looks like an asshole. So he's got to then make himself look not so bad, because he always looks like an asshole.
Please. And you have one of the best wide receivers potentially in the game in Garrett Wilson. It's like, dude, you got a great tool. Leave Devontae Adams alone, bro. Work with what you got and keep moving, bro.
Hell yeah. All right, so I figured, we got a couple of days before, like I said, obviously first game. It's a Hall of Fame game that's kicking off in an hour. So we had talked about we're going to do drafts over the weekend. We're probably going to do one mock draft on Saturday, which we haven't really talked about. But Pat, Saturday we're doing mock draft, and then for today we've been talking about going through the Scott Fish Bowl. So this is my second year in it. I've been fortunate enough to get in it last year. Started up okay, and then kind of faltered at the end of the season, so did not get into the playoffs, but got invited back again this year. So just kind of walk through it. Before we get into the regular season, just kind of want to talk through the Scott Fish Bowl team that I've got, kind of what I drafted, why, and then kind of talk about the point scoring. So we'll start there. We'll go through my team. And I told Pat he hasn't really seen the team that closely, so this will be his first time. So I said, dog it, man, all you want. Like, I don't know how confident I feel about the team, but yeah, we'll take a look and then see what we think I did and how we did for Elite, because again, I'm representing obviously Elite Fantasy Nation. I think it's a good way for us to get our name out there as well. So it's not only me. When we sign up, or I sign up, I put Elite Fantasy Nation on there, so every time my name pops up, it comes up with Elite. So hopefully that's giving us some recognition as well. So from a scoring standpoint, if you guys aren't familiar, Scott Fish Bowl, this is all for charity, so it's free to get in, but not everybody can get in because so many people want to get in. It's kind of limited. I think it's like 3,000 to 4,000 people. Just call it that. I don't know exactly the number. Get in usually every year. Last year I did an 8-hour slow draft. This year I live in Milwaukee, so this year there was a live draft in Chicago. So I drove down to Chicagoland area to a brewery down there on a Sunday. Drove down there and did a live draft in person. We did the first 12 rounds in person, and then after that I went to a slow draft 8-hour clock afterwards. Yeah, so it's always fun to engage. Again, it's for charity, so that's the best way to look at it. He's a huge proponent of giving money back and using the platform of fantasy football, Scott Fish's, that is, using that platform to donate, to kind of give back to the community, give back to certain causes. He does a lot of things with kids. So he'll buy toys for tots and do stuff like that with some of the charitable money that he gets out of these, out of the Scott Fish Bowl, and out of any donation that's given. So if anybody chooses to, when we post this out, I'll put the link to Scott Fish Bowl Cares. I think it's his link that he's got. If you want to click on there, if you want to donate, some people in the past have actually contributed whatever the winnings is for the season. They've contributed a certain amount to that Scott Fish Bowl, or to his account and towards his foundation that he's put up. So take a look. Like I said, I'll do the link. It's worth it. It's all goes to a good cause, and a way to kind of not just have fantasy football be about guys making money and beating each other up, talking shit. It's about how can we actually give back and give back to the community and make a difference in the world. So without further ado, kind of talk through the point scoring system here. Everything's always wonky. That's kind of what he's built on. He's built this whole entire platform on it's not a basic, setup. What it is basically he comes up with the weird ways of scoring to challenge, and each year is different. So what was last year as far as scoring is not the same thing as this year, and every year it evolves and kind of changes it based on what's going on, not only in NFL, which I'll talk to you about in a second, but also about, just kind of things that he thinks to balance, instead of it just being so quarterback heavy, tries to balance it out a little bit. So going through the QBs, the first thing you'll notice if you're in any fantasy football league, usually it's 25 yards, you get a point. Here it's actually 50 yards. So he's already reduced the passing yardage to half. So you get less credit for passing yardage if you're a quarterback. Passing touchdowns, usually there's 6 points if you do a redraft. Dynasty, it's usually about 4. So slight difference if you're in Dynasty versus this. 2-point conversion is 2 points. I did that again.
It's all right.
Then I will not. Hold on, let me increase this again. So
that works.
Yeah, there you go, dude. All right, so then go to rushing. So again, anything highlighted in yellow, if you're not used to sleeper, anything highlighted in yellow is something that's deviated from a normal scoring system. So I'll kind of only hit on the things on yellow, right? So it's either something that's been added that normally isn't in there, or something that's been changed from a scoring system, like the passing yardage at the top is changed from 25 yards for a point to 50 yards for a point, right? So down here, rushing, the only thing that he really added was first down. So first downs, regardless of position, you get points for first downs. He thought that was important to add that in. And also rushing attempts, which isn't normally a fantasy football, traditional redraft scoring. Even in Dynasty, I don't think there's any Dynasty leagues that I'm in that actually have rushing attempts. So it's half a point for first downs. Any rushing attempt. So just thinking about PPR values and gives wide receivers more benefit because they get either half a point or a full point by getting a reception. So here it's kind of balancing it back to the running back by giving the running back a quarter of a point for rushing attempts. Now going in receivings, only half a point, or receptions, I should say, only half a point instead of a full point in receptions. So again, lowered that down from a full point to a half a point. So again, you're raising and giving rushing attempts to running backs. You usually get a lot of rushing attempts, 20 to 25 if you're a bell cow. And receptions, he's lowered that. So again, you can kind of see running backs become a little bit more important if you kind of look at it in the whole scheme of things. Receiving first downs, just like we talked about with running backs, half a point. Then there's bonuses. So you do get a half a point if you're a wide receiver for a catch. So that is a full point then, PPR. And here's the kicker. This will be a tight end premium. So he's juiced the tight end by another half a point, right? So you get 1.5 points if you're a tight end for every reception. And you get a point if you're a wide receiver, and you get half a point if you're a running back for receptions, if you look at it that way. One thing that's kind of crazy here is for every point so point after touchdown, PAT, you get basically 3.3 points. So kickers get, for kicking a basic, extra point, they get 3.3 points. There are kickers in this. Kickers are important. Don't forget about that. His theory here, if you want to know, Pat, is the extra point is at the 33-yard line. So what he did was he gave it 3.3 points, which if you kick a 33-yard field goal, you would get 3.3 points. So he kind of balanced it out so you get the same amount.
Right.
Now, here's where the whammy comes in, or one of the whammies, I should say. Special teams player. So now, this is where I talked about NFL. He takes NFL things and kind of brings them into the format that he creates, right? So in this, with the whole kicking rule that's been changed and trying to make kicking more of an event in the NFL again and moving things and kind of changing how it's kicked and, the rules in general, he's added 10 points for every special teams player who scores a touchdown. So, for example, you get a punt return, kick return, you score a touchdown, that's 10 points. Plus, you get punt return yards and kick return yards, which are not in there last year.
Wow.
So anybody who's a wide receiver or running back or anything that does special teams points, which I'll talk to you in about a second when I get to my team, they get juiced. So they're basically special teams players are juiced, running backs are juiced, tight ends are juiced, quarterbacks brought down a little bit, and then they've got wide receivers kind of like leveled out to where they used to be. Bonus points. So the only people who get bonus points in addition is the tight ends get an additional +1 point if they get a first down.
Okay.
So you think about we're going to say hypothetical, right? So you get a tight end, you get a pass for 10 yards and you get a first down. So you get 1.5 for the catch. You get 1 point for the first down and you get 1 point for basically the 10 yards in receiving. So 10-yard first down for a tight end is 3.5 points. Just to kind of look at it in context. Yeah. So juice quite a bit if you think about it, if you kind of break it down that way. So any tight end that's consistently getting, third down looks, 3rd and 5, Mark Andrews I look at, Kittle you think about, obviously Travis Kelce when he's not injured. Those are all juiced pretty highly in this format. So something to think about. Before we go on to my team, man, you got any questions or anything? I've been talking a lot. I'm going to take a little sip of my beer. Cheers to the Bears, by the way.
Yeah, man. Almost game time. No, it's definitely different. I like seeing different formats. So it's cool, man. I like to see let's see how you draft, because based off of this, clearly the tight end is going to be the heavy winner for sure.
Did I go through it too quickly, or is it kind of?
No, you're good.
All right. Just want to make sure. All right. So we're going to go through 12 team. So one thing that I also forgot to say too is that it is a 12 team, a third round reversal, which is what he did last year as well. And in this particular format, when I signed up, I was able to pick, I think out of the 12 spots, I think only 4 were taken. So I chose the 110. And the reason why I told the 110 when I could have easily gone higher up was because I wanted the third round reversal. And at this point, I didn't even know what the scoring was. You had to pick it like about 2 months ago. So I didn't know what the scoring was. So I'll kind of take it off my team for a second. We'll talk about the first round. So you had McCaffrey, who everybody was saying, obviously, with you talk about the rushing upside and rushing attempts to get a quarter of a point, and then on top of that, you get first downs, you get all that stuff. Plus, he's a good receiver. So CMC by all means should be, the 101 in any particular draft. And then again, I think there's 1,000 different drafts that they have. So perfectly, great pick, CMC 101. Then you have Bijan, which actually I was a little bit surprised on. It is still, it is still, we talk about actually another thing that I completely forgot to talk about. So, we're going to talk about the team setting. So if you look at, it's basically one quarterback, you only have to designate one running back, one wide receiver, one tight end. Then you've got 5 flex, and then you've got a super flex.
Okay.
So not a traditional 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end. It's 1-1-1, and then you've got 5 straight up flex, and you can do whatever you want with it. So kind of think about that also too when you go through these different teams dynamics. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, but Bijan Robinson is not a second pick, not the 1-2.
I wouldn't have taken him, but I mean, I would have either gone I would have gone probably quarterback or Lamb would have been my pick. Yeah, so definitely
Lamb's usually the 1-2 in redraft right now. Period.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to look at format.
I've seen him go, and I've on average format, I should say, on the average classic 1 point PPR, like you said. So I get it.
Right, and again, like what wide receivers are knocked down in this league, So the wide receivers out of all three positions between running back, tight end, and wide receivers are probably the lower of the three as far as value, which is why you look at the first 2 rounds. Look at how little there's only in the first 2 rounds. You had 1, 2, 3 in the first round and 4 in the second round. So only 7 wide receivers went in the first 2 rounds. Very unheard of for a normal format. So from there you got Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. Also because of the rushing upside, rushing quarterbacks are actually highly valued because they would get first down credit for doing rushes if they were to do a first down.
And a tush push.
Tush push, massive. You've got Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson. Great pickup for where it was because, again, rushing upside. CeeDee Lamb, I think that's a great pick at that point. Then you get to CJ Stroud. I was a little bit questionable there. I mean, CJ had a great year, but it's like, would Kyler Murray have been a better pick with the rushing upside? Would a Tyreek Hill or Jamar Chase been better? I mean, you could kind of go both ways, but you can see again the difference. Like, so Patrick Mahomes, 6th quarterback taken up off the board in the first round. So even looking at that, crazy. Yeah. So going there from Tyreek Hill to Jamar Chase, then Breece Hall, then Jahmyr Gibbs. So again, Jahmyr Gibbs at the 201, pretty much unheard of in any super flex format if it wasn't juiced like it was. Then Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jordan Love, Dak Prescott. Quarterbacks went fairly quickly. And then you can see it explains too the tight end run. You have Laporta, Kelsey, McBride, then Andrews, who I took, and then he had Kincaid and Kyle Pitts. So you basically have 6 tight ends in the first 3 rounds. Like, that's, dude, where would you ever see that in any format?
Not really, especially when it's juiced where you can get like 3 points for a first down catch.
No, dude, it's insane. Yeah. So, so I won't go through everything, but I figured it was worth looking at. So my team.
Yeah.
Kind of highlight like why I did what I did. So Jamar Chase was still on the board, which I was surprised. You could also, for anybody who's in a current draft that has the scoring already set up, I highly recommend, if the points system and like how the league is set up is currently set up and it's active and it's correct, if you go into players in Sleeper and if you go into last year's like stats, you don't do projections. You don't do free agents. You just say last year's stats. It'll basically tell you all the top fantasy points from the top player all the way down, and it'll kind of give you a gauge of what you could look at. So,
tip.
Yeah, dude. So, ASM or ASB scored, I think it was like 3rd or 4th wide receiver off the board in the same format, given the same scoring system. He would have been the 3rd wide receiver last year as far as scoring points. So I was debating on taking him instead of Chase first, but I couldn't do it because it's Jamar Chase and he was injured half the year. So obviously that comes into it too. So Jamar Chase, St. Brown, and then I was hoping that I could get
two bangers, dude, right away, bro. I mean, 2 solid.
Yeah, I mean, where I might get hurt is going to be in running backs, but we'll see. So let that go, and then it kind of like I was hoping to get either Sam Laporta, Kelsey, or McBride. They all went, as you can see, pretty much like back-to-back, 3 out of the last 5 picks in that second round. Then it comes back to me, and I was able to get Mark Andrews, which I was pretty happy with. He's had injuries the past couple of years, so we'll see how long he can last. Like, I'm hoping that he can kind of like hold up, but got Mark Andrews. Didn't get, and then again, Derrick Henry was there. I was like, I could have taken Derrick Henry, but how the tight ends are flying off the board, I didn't want to risk not getting a legit number 1 tight end.
For sure.
So let Derrick Henry go. Who else I let go? Drake London. I also let go. ATN was another guy that I was trying to target. He had gone, obviously, before it came back to me. Kyron Williams as well. Then he had Josh Jacobs took off. So at this point, I felt like I had to take a running back. So I took Rashad White. In that offense, like he did really well last year. Bucky Irvin, they've drafted Bucky Irvin out of Oregon to Tampa Bay, who might take away some of the passing down work from him and might take away some rushes. Bucky Irvin's very small, but you just never know. So We'll see his workload. I'm hoping that it actually pans out and that he still does a pretty decent job. And then Trevor Lawrence went off the board. Jared Goff. Again, you can look at it like this is super flex. I did not draft my first quarterback until round 9. If you just kind of like in context. Then it comes back after Trevor Lawrence. I'm like having a bad day of talking today. Jared Goff, Devon A. Chain, and then you have Pacheco went. So then I was kind of like stuck at that point. Nico, I think this is a panic pick at this point. So one thing that kind of like, if you've never done a live draft in person, which I know, Pat, you've done a couple of these with your boys. You're sitting there and you're like all anxious. And also like the room that we're in was a brewery. And it wasn't just us. It was like 8 different leagues that were drafting. So it was like ours was one league. You had 7 other leagues that were there. So there's just a lot of noise going on. You're trying to order food. You're drinking beer. You're talking to people, getting to know them. And then you're all of a sudden up and you're like, oh, fuck, I got to figure out something. So I just kind of like, this is pretty much like a panic pick. And I got Nico Collins. Looking back, I probably would have taken like a Debo, or I might have taken like even a James Cook. Like it might have been a better pick, just given the fact that the running backs are juiced. So see, hopefully it turns out. But yeah, that was my first one that I was like, wasn't really sure of. So coming back, Rashid Shaheed was the number 1 returner in all of football last year. So if you take his returning, he scored, I think, 4 or 5 return touchdowns. If you take that along with his receiving touchdowns and all of his points that he scored, he was the wide receiver, I think 12 or 13 in this format last year. And I got him in the 6th round. And I was waiting. I almost picked him up before Rachaad White, to be honest with you. Just because of the fact that like it's also a best ball. So they automatically go into your lineup. You don't have to set your lineup. It does it automatically. So, yeah, man, I was kind of like juiced about that. So then coming back again, 7th round, Dave Montgomery. So wanted that guy. He was monster this past year with Jahmyr Gibbs obviously coming up and being a little bit more in that offense. Not really sure about that pick, but I'm hoping that at least he has goal line work or gets first downs and is like a thumper. So I'll stop at 7 rounds. Your thoughts so far, man?
I like it. The format plays a huge role into how I see what you're doing. I would take Diggs over Collins probably. Like that's me. You know what I mean? That's probably the only thing I like. Really, really stood out.
Yeah. No, I mean fair.
Yeah, I mean White's fine. I'm cool with that. It's cool. I like where you're at.
Yeah, and like I said,
I don't see anything too crazy.
The Collins was a panic pick. And again, they didn't have Wi-Fi too. That's another thing I didn't really mention. So I'm trying to pull up stats. I had 3 different screens that I'd set up previously where based on the scoring system, I thought I had a way to kind of figure out like who to pick next when, but because the Wi-Fi sucked so bad, like nothing was working. So I basically just started like picking guys randomly at times, not all the time. And I think Collins is one of those guys. I probably picked him in a round too early. But yeah, Diggs would have been a better pick. DJ Moore even would have probably been a better pick. I think that the wide receivers, even Malik Neighbors, honestly, would be amazing.
Let's take it easy on that. Not yet, but
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see.
He's looking phenomenal, but I mean, you got to think quarterback on that too, man. Who's throwing you the ball?
100%.
I'll take Stroud over goddamn Danny Dimes, bro.
Fair enough. All right. So then come back, Najee Harris, like I said. So you got 8-10 Najee Harris. And again, tight end premium. So look at all the tight ends are going. It's like fucking shooting fish in a barrel, dude. They're just like flying off the shelf, dude.
Yeah, here's your quarterback.
Najee Harris. So then at this point, like quarterbacks are slim. I'd be able to see by who's left. I had Stafford, Rodgers, Will Levis, and then he had Danny Dimes, he talked about, Geno Smith. So like that's how like Derek Carr, like he got
Deshaun
slim.
Gone?
Huh?
Deshaun Watson was gone.
Oh yeah, he was gone. Where the hell did he go? Let's take a look. Great question. You got to use your eyes. Help me out on this one. I think.
Unless you want to highlight the board, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Open the whole board up.
Deshaun went. That's a great question.
Right there. He's in the second pick down. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What around?
9th pick, second guy. He's the 2-9.
Oh, right there. No, he's 8-2. He's the 8-2 pick. You can see it there.
8-2. Sorry. I can't see it over there. I was like, looking, it's tiny for me.
You gotta get glasses, man. I'll share my glasses with you. So yeah, he was already gone. Then to that point, he was already gone. So like he was actually taken before it even got to me. So Baker was the quarterback right after
Baker,
Deshaun
Stafford, Rodgers, Levis, Gino,
Derek Carr, Danny Dimes, Justin Fields, McCarthy, Bryce Young. I mean, that's who was left, dude.
Yeah,
at that
point.
So like, I didn't have a choice. So I was like, fuck, dude, I can't. I at least need one quarterback. So I took Baker. Then at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna start hammering. I'm gonna start hammering. Which, so again, it goes. So it's best ball. So Taysom could be my quarterback as well because he's positional both. So on this one, he is showing up as both tight end and as quarterback. So for me, I was looking at it, as long as that's they scored accurately, he could go on my, super flex spot potentially.
And he always runs. I mean, that dude's running.
And he always runs, dude. Yeah. So like, dude, again, like you said, know the format. Everybody out there, like, know the fucking format, man. Play the game.
That's like, for every format. League, every redraft.
1,000%, dude. Like that is the first thing. Look up the scoring system. Look at the positions. Look at how many people you absolutely need to start. Look at how many flex positions you have. Look at all of that because that matters and like who you're going to draft and where. Then I got Raheem Mostert. I thought again he could get injured, but again, best ball and this guy
hit the ticket, dude. It's okay. Take it.
And then I went back to the tight end because I didn't like who was left as far as like in the wide receivers. So Mims. So you're gonna see. I'll scroll up a little more so you can see a little better. But so you have Mims is also somebody who's going to be doing a lot of return work. So that's actually went after my Senate pick. You see Mims right here for Denver.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually a really good pick. I was hoping to get him on the next turn on the 13-3. Unfortunately, already gone. So I pivoted. But I was thinking Senate, rookie, but he's in Washington. And I'm like, dude, they really don't have, it's a wide open tight end room. Senate, I think he could actually be really good. So it could be easy, quick read. In that offense. So liked him as far as how many receptions he could get. Then on the flip end, I wanted to get the best kicker. So if you look, I'm going to take it off real quick. They're already, Justin Tucker had gone. Butker had already gone. So two kickers had already gone. So I wasn't the first one to do it. But Aubrey was actually the best kicker in the scoring system last year for Dallas. And he was the third kicker that I was able to grab. So based on the scoring system, like I said, I went into sleeper, went into last year's stats, not projections for this year. Went through the whole, clicked on season and kicker, and he was the number one by far. I think it was like by 20 or 30 points. I took him.
Okay.
Then I took Jalen Wright because I'm like, if Mostert goes down, I've got Jalen Wright. And even if Mostert doesn't go down, Jalen Wright can still score some points. Yep. Then at this point, I'm kind of panicking because like I don't have a second quarterback besides hoping that Taysom Hill can actually make my lineup as a quarterback instead of a tight end. So I got O'Connell. Who currently looks like he could be the starter there from what I've been hearing. We've talked about that a couple of times on this podcast. And they got Antonio Gibson in New England. He's the RB2 in that offense, so we'll see what that looks like. And then here it's just like at this point, just clicking and like whatever, because you're already in the 17th round. You're just kind of shooting for
just gonna throw stuff. Yeah.
Malachi Corley. Yeah, Malachi Corley, who's the wide receiver 2 in that offense. A lot of talk about him. Coming out of West Virginia University. So hopefully that works out.
Before. I love him.
Yeah. No, I mean, it looks good. And then Jontavian Sanders, so tight end for Carolina. So again, in that offense, they need, Bryce Young needs somebody who's going to be reliable. So there was talks about Sanders being also wide receiver coming into the NFL just based on his size and profile. So he has that ability. So I'm like, hell, that's a good pick. Hopefully he's reliable and can do something in that offense. Then Jacoby Brissett, because he's could be a starter. Needed another running back, another quarterback. This is the mistake that I had. So I had somebody queued up, or wish I had known that like they told me I was on, but it was basically auto draft. Michael Penix went. If I could redo it, I would have taken McKinnon out of Tampa Bay. Was actually the guy that I would have taken if I had made my own pick. But again, it was a auto pick. So I got Penix. Probably won't start this year, so it's a waste of a pick. So it kind of pisses me off in that sense, but whatever, it is what it is. Then you've got another tight end rookie, Theo Johnson in New York. I know you had Danny Dimes, but Danny Dimes needs somebody to throw to. And then lastly, we've talked about Lobi a couple of times. My last pick as a running back from Las Vegas, Who knows? Maybe he'll be, if there's an injury in that position, he could be, running back 1 for a couple of games to give me some points. So, thoughts, man? I kind of just rambled on for 30-something minutes about my team.
I mean, like I said, just checking out. The Penix pick sucked. The Penix pick sucked. We know that was a waste.
I mean, there's no way in hell anybody who's doing a redraft, you do not pick up Penix.
No, please don't. That's a foolish thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Penix is like Penix and Collins.
You said
are
Collins. You said the
Collins. Collins, yeah. Or like the 2, I'd be like, all right. But I mean, it's not horrible. I don't think it's bad. You gotta see how injuries play out and see how the positions take. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Monty's always good, but Gibbs is right there.
Najee. I mean, Najee Harris in the 8th round, I think, was pretty much a steal. Same with Mostert.
That's fine, Mostert, I mean, they have Achane and the rookie, but you got the rookies. You got 2 out of 3 out of
that's
Miami,
the whole point.
That's not bad either. So you're cool with that. I like it. I don't think anything bad at all, and especially when you're designating, your picks towards the gearing it to the league's, strength
setting,
and like you went to their strength of the setting, and I think that's great because a lot of these people you'd be like, what?
If you just looked at that team, you'd be like, what in the fuck is this guy doing? I mean, I was the last person by, I think this guy's Snowcone 86 was like the last one besides me to get a quarterback. So he got it in the 4th round. I got
Herbert.
So I waited in the 9th. I waited until the 9th.
Yep.
To get one. So I mean, that could be one thing that hurts me, but so let me take it off real quick. So is there anybody else that you kind of want to look at as far as like anybody's team? I think honestly, like when I was watching the draft, I was like, and this is what's crazy. So in one of the boards, because you could see other people's boards. So one of the other leagues, obviously not this one, the guy with his first 6 picks took all tight ends. All tight ends. First 6 picks. And I think he was like the 5th or the 6th pick. So he was like, or 6 or 7. He was like in this round. He was like 3 boards over, so I couldn't really say exactly. I should have taken a photograph of it.
So he's just nailing.
It literally was like Laporta, then come back. It was Kelsey, then come back. I think he did Pitts, and then it was like just like boom, 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 boom. It was insane. I don't think he drafted a quarterback until round 7 or 8, like I did.
That's awesome. I like number 3's team, and I like number 4's team too. Look, like quick glance, I kind of like how they did it because Allen's a runner, Murray's a runner, Adams probably not a sexy pick to me over there. Fine, Evan Ingram, premium.
See, that's where my eyes go. You just said it, Devontae. I would have taken Etienne, who was the number 1 running back, or second running back, or third running back in the system. I would have taken Etienne before of Adams. Like that's the one. Yeah, like I'm Ingram, like Ingram cool. Totally. Yeah, it's take Ingram.
Debo, right?
Yeah, fine. And then your old boy mix in.
That's cool. Schultz, they're both down there. They'll do fine. Connor, he'll have some time. Will Levis is just like, a throw in. D-Hop's hurt. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Tucker, great kicker. And then he got Carr, which is another starter, could hit the ticket too. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Miller can get time, injury. Yeah. Solid team, dude. Solid. He's definitely one to watch.
I'm trying to think about the one that I was like, damn. I was like, I'm kind of worried. I think TK.
Guy next to it's nice. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. He's the one that like I'm worried about his team. He's got Tua.
Dude, Hurts, Kelsey, Pitts,
dude.
ETN.
These 5. T King. I'm gonna post this in. I'm gonna post this in the league that we drafted. And T King, man, I'm telling you right now, dude. Like your team it's actually out of the whole entire board my favorite. I think. Like, I'm scared the shit out of his team. Like, yeah, Cook, ATN, Kyle Pitts, Travis Kelce, Jalen Hurts, running quarterback, 2 guys who can easily be first down machines and tight ends. ETN, who is like a monster.
James Cook is a monster in Buffalo.
And then he's got Tua. Who's got obviously all that other shit.
Scary Terry, Ridley. Come on, man. Yeah. Yeah, you don't even got to go anymore. Butker. Awesome kicker. Minshew might have a starting job.
Khalil Herbert is going to be the RB2 in that offense.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, the last 2 picks are almost throwaways, but yes.
Well, I think he was autoed at that point. If I'm
I was going to say,
some people autoed towards the end.
That's fine. Yeah. I like those are my two teams I'm looking at are like those two. The other guy next to him on the left, I like his team a lot. The number three pick's pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
I don't like his as much because of the fact that he did so many wide receivers. If he would have flipped one of those, if not both of those, for a running back, I would have liked it better. To be honest with you,
Mixon's gonna be a nice bell. He's got a lot of running over there to do. But
yeah,
I guess you could say, Adams is not the pick to me. Like that was the one I'm like, could have let that one go.
100%. And like I said, if I would have done mine differently, like I probably would have taken. I mean, dude, that started Chase and St. Brown. I mean, that is like monster.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I like T King though. Like I said, I think he takes his cake. If I were to grade who's got the best draft, it would be T King. So congratulations to you, T King. I think you did awesome, man. You followed the format. You hammered on tight end. You took the upside in Pitts, who I think could be a monster this year. Then you got ATN and Cook and Tua. Yeah. I think those first 6 picks are just like fucking for this format. Were like the exact picks that I think should have been done. So congrats to you, man. We'll see how it goes, and then we'll do like little updates throughout the season. Who knows? Maybe my team falls on its face. Last year I felt really good about my team, and it started out okay. Or no, it started out bad, and then because Kelsey, I luckily got Kelsey, but he didn't do shit. And then he finally picked it up towards the middle. And then towards the back, basically I needed like the last 2 weeks, I needed to actually perform and my team just like fell apart. So I didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's all right.
We'll see. This one I feel okay about. So maybe that'll be better for me in the long run. Feeling okay versus feeling good.
Let's get it.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that, man. Whoever, you hear about Scott Fishbowl a lot. I feel like people mostly don't talk about their teams. They kind of quickly talk about the format and everything. So just thought, it'd be nice to kind of throw what it really looks like, what a real Scott Fishbowl team looks like.
Different format for sure.
And shout out to the Richard Kimble. So this year they went off of famous characters. So if you've ever watched what the hell was the oh my god, Richard Kimble was he was the fugitive. Remember did you ever see the movie The Fugitive?
Oh yeah. Have I?
Yes. So I know
Harrison Ford.
It's like 90s. Yeah. So Harrison Ford was Richard Kimble, wasn't he? So yeah, he was like the main.
I don't know the name. I know The Fugitive.
I forgot who it was until like literally we're there and somebody like, oh, it's my favorite movie, and he's like, oh, The Fugitive, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's Richard Kimble, because he was a doctor. Remember, he was a doctor in that movie, and he was accused of killing his wife. So
I remember it.
Yeah, so he chooses different like ways of kind of naming and labeling leagues. So shout out to Richard Kimble League. So Scott Fishbowl 14 props, and like I said, we'll do the link to his charity. So please donate if you can. Otherwise, you can go on there and try to see if you can sign up yourself for next year, and maybe you can get in. Anything else you got, Pat?
No, let's go watch some freaking football, bro.
Oh, it's about time, man. Kickoff is about to ensue.
Right. Saturday, redraft. We'll start doing some real heavy analysis. I was talking to a couple of my buddies. Mock ADPs, all the good stuff, bro. So get ready. Pens and papers ready. I swear to God, don't miss the next episode. It will be an important one for most of you guys out there.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody enjoyed. And I rambled. They're all important. This one I rambled a lot, so we'll see. Give us feedback if you don't want to fucking hear about somebody's team next time and you think it was just 35 minutes of me rambling. Please let us know. But yeah, I think it's always fun to look at different formats and to look at how you could adjust differently, because not every league is the same. It's not like a cookie cutter league, so you got to use more of a process and a thought that goes behind it. So always look at the scoring, setting, and win money always. Until next time. We're up. Deuces.